So it's Sunday morning. Thought I'd slip down to the barn and see how the horses seemed after yesterday. We had a decent night racing last night. Booked a bet. Got her first lifetime win last night. She raced good. 2 minutes. Track was kind of shitty. The track was kind of shitty. She raced good though. And who else? Delmar J. Second, beat a half a length in 2-4. He raced really well. And then Conway Holiday stayed off the list, made a couple of dollars last night. He's got some ways to go yet, but he's getting there. Oh, I don't. And Mystical Mission finished 5th. You know, he just seems to be missing something, that horse. You know, he was real good throughout the winter. Then he had that broken equipment break, and he made a break on his own. The track was firm. Now the track was good last night. I just didn't see that killer instinct that he had before. So he might be going through some sort of a little thing. We took his blood last week, and Jason had said that his levels were a little out of whack. Not bad, but a little off. So hopefully there's something to work with there. Now, in regards to our yearlings, our 2-year-olds, some trained really well yesterday. Some trained expectantly well yesterday. Some trained decent. And you can get out, honey. One. And some were really struggling in the mud. So, you know what? I thought I'd take a look at maybe out of our 53 that trained yesterday, our top 15. Let's just say our top 15. I had 15 names, I thought. So, top 15 from yesterday. I'm going to run through them. Some of them are obviously the usual suspects. Some of them were very, very impressive yesterday. So, we'll start with them in, I guess, in alphabetical order. Our Vika goes without saying. This is she's a bit of a dynamo. She's a monster. And when she's on her game, man, oh man, is she ever look impressive. I think she's going to be a really, really nice trotting filly. We paid her up, obviously, as you can see. For the people that are on our staking list, you know how heavily staked our Vika is, and how she'll continue to be. And she does not disappoint. She's got a lot to learn still. I mean, when I drive her, I put her in gear, and then the week after, somebody else goes with her and just kind of floats along with her, and she's okay. When you get her game face on, man, oh man, she's ready to play. So our Vika goes out saying she's one of our top horses here at the barn, I think, and she's been that way throughout. It's easy to say, geez, that horse has trained good for a few weeks, but not many of them have trained good almost every week. Our Vika even had a few weeks where she was a little dull. I think the only horse I can think of that trained fantastic every week was Maintenance Man. So aside from him, our Vika has been a standout for quite some time. So I was really happy with her. Bay Jewel. Now, Bay Jewel, for the people that own pieces of Bay Jewel like me, I had fielded some emails over the last month leading up to 2 weeks ago saying, geez, you know, what's wrong with Bay Jewel? Where's Bay Jewel? Why is she not showing up? And I told you, just take your time. I didn't get a chance to go with this filly, and I've gone with her the last 3 weeks, and she was awesome again yesterday. Really, really impressed with her. Hard eight. There's a filly that made quite a transition. She went from really, really lazy when we first broke her. She's a big filly with a big frame to she's starting to really put it all together. And James actually said to me yesterday, he says, this filly's getting hot, which is shocking. I said, do you not remember this filly? He goes, yeah. He said, she's getting a little warm now. I said, all right. So I think what we're going to do is, obviously the corks are off now for the first time. This week, most of them had the corks off. She's also got razor pads on up front for the winter, the way she hits the ground. I'm going to take all her stuff off, let her hobbles out, and really let her stretch into her hobbles the next little while. I think you'll either see her make a couple little breaks as she transitions into that longer hobble length, or you'll see her really, really start to look good. So really happy with her. Again, another horse that's impressed for quite a while now is Just a Tad. Just a Tad was good again yesterday. Made a little break. It looks like Harry got close to the guy in front of me, just kind of lost himself and rolled off, but looked really, really, really good again yesterday. Another horse that there's been a lot of share movement over the last month on him, and he's looking really, really good. Candy Mac. Candy Mac's a bit of a sentimental horse. He's by a bit of an obscure stallion, and for those of you in Michigan, obviously he's not obscure, and Rompaway Wally. But for me, I didn't know that many, I've never seen that many Rompaway Wallies before. Candy Mac's done it right since day one. He's had his ups and his downs a little bit, but for the most part, Candy Mac's been a bit of a stalwart. He's always trained well. I never get to go with him because he never ever runs, ever. And if he does, it's very rare. So Candy Mac, Brett was asking about him yesterday. He was really impressed with him after he went with him, and I was happy to hear that because Candy, he's just a nice horse. He's never too excited. He doesn't act up. He does his work all the time. He's just a worker. He's a worker, and I like him a lot. Now, biggest mover of the week was King of the Ball. King of the Ball obviously had some issues making breaks the last little while, and another horse I fielded a ton of emails over. What's wrong with King of the Ball? Why is he running? And I tell people all the time, this is a process. It's going to take time. The horse is going to be good. The horse is going to be bad. But he has his good points and he has bad points. And, for those of you watching, I told you, just take your time. I went with him on Wednesday. I don't know what was up. The horse seemed fine with me on Wednesday. I planned on going with him yesterday. I just couldn't find a spot for him where I could get in there and go with him. So I'd said to James, thaw him out and make sure that martingale's on tight enough, the strap that goes from his chin to his chest. And if you look on all his videos, he throw his head and then he run. And he just ornery. We didn't geld him at Christmas time, and he's not out of the woods yet. There's still lots of time to geld him if he wants to keep acting up like that. But yesterday he was very focused and did his work well. So he's still on the bubble as far as gelding, but not as far as how fast he is. Autumn Wings was tired yesterday. The first time I've ever seen her tired in my life. And King of the Ball jumped on me halfway down the lane and blew by her and was chasing down some really, really good horses, and Maintenance Man and Sunshine's Finest. So King of the Ball, absolutely top marks for him. Probably, given the entire landscape of everything, I would say the number one horse from yesterday in my mind was King of the Ball. Linnea, absolutely fantastic. Ricky went with her and said, what a difference. About 4 or 5 weeks ago, she was on the left line a little bit, a little soft left front, and a little bit soft left front, and we really worked on her. We put a blister on her knees, put a pad on her left front, backed off with her for a few weeks, and yesterday she was a little bit tougher, and I said to Ricky, cut her loose today, and he went under the wire, wrapped up, and James's horse was charging at him, and he said, man, this thing's a freak. She's a sweet little filly. James called her a race car the other day when he went with her, and Ricky called her a freak yesterday. So I was very, very happy with her. She looked very impressive, and absolutely, again, top marks to Linnea. Sports Writer filly, very well bred, and very, very impressive yesterday. Maintenance Man, what can you say? The horse has been, you know what? Some horses have looked better in odd weeks, but nobody's looked better every week than like Maintenance Man has been amongst the top every week since we broke him. So he's the king of the barn. He's been the king of the barn, and until he's dethroned on a weekly basis, he's going to remain there. So Maintenance Man, staked him to everything. He looks like a good horse. He moves like a good horse. I think he hopefully will be a good horse, and there's no reason to believe he won't. He's got all the tools. We left him a stud, and he is very sharp and striking and squealing, but how can you geld him? I mean, he's just too good right now, and, for me, I'm going to keep a real close eye on his attitude, but a horse that looks as good as him, I really can't, I can't justify cutting him just yet. There's the birthday girl. It's my girl's birthday today. Hi, Ava Lily. I'm just doing a video, sweetie. All right, just give me 1 minute. Oh, those are pretty. I tell Mommy I'll be right in, all right?
Okay.
It's my daughter's 7th birthday today. So, Maintenance Man, not an angel. Good again yesterday. Very, very happy with her. Very happy with what I saw in Not an Angel. Before, she was getting hot, and once in a while after the mile, you could hear her make a little noise. So I had the vet check her throat, and the vet said absolutely no issues with her throat. And sometimes after the mile, it's a bit of a release. So it's just a matter of working with her. My biggest problem was her getting hot. We put a choke plate on her, which I don't really like, but she wears it well. She respects it. James said she was very good. Very minor flutter yesterday, but every week she's getting better, and I really just think it's psychological. And with her, she's trotting great, looking great. James was very, very impressed with her. See you in Tuscany. Now, he didn't get to the top of the bus yesterday, but this colt was I'm going to give him amongst top marks just because of how much better he's looked over the last few weeks. He was in the bottom class that were really trying to work through their issues, and they were behind a little bit. And it wasn't like he was in a tough bunch yesterday, but he looked really good. And See You in Tuscany, this is what I was wanting to see. We did get the corks off him. You know, we did make some minor changes, and Danny's been working with him, and Danny really likes this colt. And he was really, really thrilled with him yesterday. I saw nothing but a horse that was focused, poised, and doing his work great. So for me, See You in Tuscany was a very pleasant surprise yesterday. Stolen Dance. Pretty hard not to like my girl, Stolen Dance. There's a filly that she stands off a little bit. You know, she brushes that outside knee a little bit. She had the OCDs taken out of her hind ankles, and I've said from the start, you know, this filly is a broodmare, is worth more than what we paid for her. And for her to go out and do her work the way she did yesterday, I was very, very, very impressed and pleased with her, because she's a worker. She's another horse that you'll find as we go along that the horses I love the most, obviously you like the ones that can go fast. I like the ones that understand their work and do whatever they can to achieve it every single day. And she's a worker. And for me, Stolen Dance, she's the Rudy of 2018. And we have a horse or two every year that we're always cheering for them. We always want to see them do good. I think Zeppelin B made it onto my Rudy list last year, if you will. And was a very, very good horse all year for us. Stolen Dance is getting there quickly this year. She trained him out in 250. She's been in 44, and she wants to go faster. So I'm just really, really happy with what I've seen in her so far, and especially yesterday. Springbridge Proud. Springbridge Proud, you'll notice he made a couple of breaks. He was on the right line. We come in, he had a quarter crack yesterday, right front. Now, quarter cracks come in lots of places. On the side of the wall, they're easily fixed. You can dry them up with iodine, clean them up, dry them up with iodine. If you have to, you can wire them. They don't usually bother them. His was at the back, right in the heel, where, for those of you that are horsemen, where the frog is, that V right there heading upwards is where he split his, and it's really painful. You really got to cut that out, take the pressure off it, and then you have to dry it up really good and clean it up. And his just blew open yesterday. So from that right front, that awkwardness that you saw, it was there. He was pretty uncomfortable on it, but it's very, very fixable. And the fact that he still went out and paced hard down the lane, put that horse away. Very happy with what I saw from him. I was facing some questions about staking with him. We got him staked pretty heavy, and you know, it's tough. It's March. You know, we bought him to be a good horse. He looks like a good horse. We're going to stake him like a good horse right now. And for me, you know, this is a learning experience for me also. And I want to see what's going to take place over the next couple of months and then throughout the summer. And if we have to make changes for 2019, we will. But I think we've done a pretty good job with the staking so far. And we've taken into account everybody's angle, if you will, from whether it be budget or the horse or whatnot. And I'm trying to be as conservative as I can. You know, you look at a horse like Springbridge Proud, I don't own any of them. I'm not trying to waste anybody's money. I'm trying to invest it as best I can. Maintenance Man, another horse. I don't own any of that horse. I wish I did, but I don't. So you're left constantly trying to do what's right for the horse and right for the clients. And I think in this case, we got it right so far. Sunshine's Finest. Again, amongst the top of the most improved. This horse has been on my radar and in the corner of my eye for the past month. He took a serious run at Maintenance Man yesterday, and I think if Brett was a little more aggressive with him, he might have went by Maintenance Man yesterday. I don't know. I was back a little bit, but from what I saw, Maintenance Man, he had all he wanted yesterday with Sunshine's Finest. Here's a horse that's happier since we gelded him at Christmas, sharper, sounder, and he's really, really in attack mode right now on the track. And there's one of the most improved horses. It wasn't quite King of the Ball improved yesterday, but improved horses of the day. I'm going to give him number two. Number two of yesterday was Sunshine's Finest. Now, keep in mind, I don't give Maintenance Man just a free pass every week. I expect him to go good now. He did exactly what I expect him to do. But the horses that impressed me the most yesterday so far, King of the Ball and Sunshine's Finest. War We Ultra. Ooh, Every time I go with her, she's fantastic, and every time I don't go with her, she runs. Hobble's got to be a little snug. It's a little concerning that if her equipment isn't perfect, she runs. Yeah, it's a little upsetting, but when she's out there, man, she is a powerhouse. I moved her 3 or 4 times again yesterday. She won the training set. She looked great. I don't know what to tell you. I was happy with her. I'm happy with her every time I go with her, and every time I don't go with her, I'm frustrated. So yesterday was a great day for War Wheel Ultra. I think she's going to be a real powerhouse this summer in the OSS stakes, and I was very happy with her. White Tiger, if you watch that move White Tiger put on us yesterday at the mile marker of our training session. Again, we go 1.5 miles right now. If you look at the move that James put on us with White Tiger, my God almighty, he looked like a 4-year-old. This horse, the sky is absolutely the limit for this horse, and this is a horse that I kept shares in. My wife and I kept shares in this horse. She picked him out. Her and I looked at every single muscle massive in Harrisburg, simply because of Lawmaker. He was a muscle massive. We looked at every single muscle massive. White Tiger was our top pick. We bought him, and he is a really incredibly gifted animal. So for White Tiger, say go back and look at the video and look at the mile marker of White Tiger's training session yesterday. He is something else. And keep your eye on him. I'm certainly going to keep my eye on him. And I can't say enough about White Tiger. So for everybody out there, oh, Amy wants her drink. For everybody out there that watched the videos yesterday, a bit of a mixed bag. Some were good, some were bad, none were really bad. I mean, the ones that are still trying to learn, cash in on me. For everybody out there dumping your shares and getting rid of the horse, I saw somebody sold a share for $30 yesterday. Come on, man. We bought that horse for $23,000 American, and you're going to price him at $3,000 Canadian in March? That's really unfair for the horse. And for me, here's a horse that goes out in the track and tries. He doesn't act like a pig. He doesn't try and get out of his work. He's a tall, lanky colt. We're not going to have this colt ready till August or September this year. But I like horses that want to do their work. You'll recall we sold a filly named Samoa's Girl at the start of the season. We took a loss on her immediately. We sold her. She had a gate where she interfered, but she didn't want to do it. She was frustrated, and her attitude came out. This colt here has been trying his hardest to do it right for months and months and months. And every week, every day, 1 day or 2 days of the week, I see a little bit of flash here, a little bit of flash there, and he looks a little bit better. So for those of you out there, looking at your cash in on me shares, right now they're not worth a whole lot. Don't dump them. Just give this colt time. And if you really got to get rid of them, fine. You're going to take a bath on them. But for what, I just don't understand. There's lots of trainers out there that don't even aim to have their horses ready before October or September, the 2-year-old year. Now, here at the stable, we try to have them ready in June. And we're making a few changes in our training regimen this year. Horses like our Vika and Maintenance Man that we expect to show up later in the year and really need that extra month. Instead of having them ready June 15th, we're going to have them ready July 15th. And my hope, and I believe it, that if we give them that extra month at the start of the year, we'll have that extra month at the end of the year, and that's exactly when we're going to need it. So over the next month, and I see a lot of people saying, how fast are they going? How fast are they going? It doesn't matter how fast they're going. I don't post it at this time of year for a reason, because some people think that they went in 2:35 and then went another half this week, that they should go faster next week. It doesn't work that way. We push the horses accordingly. Yesterday, the track wasn't great. We were training them all in the 2 and 3 wide path. So their mile markers might have been 2:40 with another half at 17, which is slower than they've gone the last 3 weeks. But people will look at that and say, oh, they went slower. It's not how it works. When we ask these horses to go faster, they'll go faster because we're putting in the work right now. The work we put in, this is all foundation work. Teaching them, letting them understand this group mentality and racing situation, putting the miles into them, putting the endurance into them, putting the stamina in them, so that when we call on them in May, when we call on them in June to qualify and go 2 trips and go quick and come quarters in 27, not only will they, not only can they, they'll be happy to, and they'll be able to do it the right way. So the work we're putting in right now is foundation work. It's very, very important, but at the end of the day, it's not important how fast they go. So as we get further down, closer to May and June, we'll start posting the times. The times mean nothing right now. Absolutely nothing. It's how they do their work and how they look doing it. And for me, for well over 45 or maybe even 50 of these horses, they're doing it really well. Stop, bud. They're doing it really well, and I've been very, very impressed with them. So listen, I've been talking for 21 minutes almost. And for those of you who find this interesting and find it helpful that I can shed some light on at least 15 of the 57 we have right now, send me an email. You know, if you don't want to watch it, then don't watch it. But it's something that I'm going to continue to do for the next little while because I think it's important. These are all questions that people are going to ask. Now, one question that has been asked, and I need to answer it because I don't want to send out a million emails, is simple. People ask, why do I see multiple stake payments, say for the Breeders' Crown, February, March? You're going to see those for the next 2 months also. Some of these Grand Circuit stakes are 4 months in a row. So I will send out an email to that effect this week. But I wanted to answer that because I know there's, and I assume for every 5 people that ask, there's 30 people that don't. And I want to make sure that you get the answers. So for me, the Ontario Sire Stakes program, the payments are done. March 15th was the only payment for the 2-year-olds. February was the 3-year-old payment. Now, when you look at some of the bigger stake races, they're going to be February, March, April, and May, actually, for the Breeders' Crown, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Pennsylvania, their stake was, people had said, how come it's only $150? And Ontario was $800. It's $150 this month and $400 in May for the Pennsylvania Sires. And I like how they do that. They don't gouge people in the early part of the staking season. That might be the only jurisdiction. No, Indiana does the same thing. They wait later on. Gives people an opportunity to really look at whether they think their horses are going to be ready. So you're getting a real glimpse at how vast the staking programs are, how expensive they are, and how we're gonna maneuver within them this year. So as far as the Indiana breds go, we're gonna stake them in Indiana. Their program is very extensive for their stake horses, and they can virtually stay in Indiana all summer long. Ohio is a work in progress for the people in Ohio. It's tough to get them raced in between. So you're going to see actually additional charges this month later. For the March 15th, we have to pay them into the fair programs, which are good races to tighten them up in between. There's like 1 billion fair tracks in Ohio. I don't know how many tracks there are, but there's a lot of fair tracks in Ohio, and we're going to use those as stepping stones throughout the summer. So some of the Ohio breds that we don't have paid into the Grand Circuit, we're going to use those additional stake races, as tighteners. How was your birthday so far, honey? Good. Tell everybody how old you are.
7.
Yeah, my little girl's 7 today. So for everybody out there, if you spent 24 minutes watching this, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope I've been helpful and insightful. I hope everybody gets a real look at what we do here. You imagine we talk for 24 minutes about less than 1/3, just under 1/4 of the horses we have. So hopefully we'll bring you similar 15 next week. We'll touch on some of the other horses. Again, this is a process. Take your time. Don't be too concerned with the horses. If I have an issue with the horses, I will definitely be bringing it to you. But you are going to see various different levels of progression throughout the year. So, for the people that sold cash in on me, I guess I don't blame you. If you don't see what you need to see and you want to sell your shares at a loss, I guess that's on you. For the people that picked him up, I certainly don't have a problem with that. Cash in on me is doing everything he can to get to the races. If he does, great. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. But I see a horse that's improving all the time, and very happy with what I see. And everybody from that bottom set, either we're down there to learn at a slower speed, or down there to get a little more confidence and experience. Cruising in Angus, friggin' Big, and those horses were down there to do just that. So for everybody out there, if you have any questions, obviously email me, Anthony@TheStable.ca. If you have any concerns that you want to address in a more vocal way, you can call me, 519-400-4263. That's right, Ava. Or you can simply text me. So thanks again, everybody. I'm going to do it in this format so I don't get carpal tunnel throughout the springtime. So thanks for tuning in, and
Have a nice day.
have a nice day. We'll be talking to you next week.